Hello, Miss Lambert's class. I am Ileana's dad, Josh. And she has asked me to read a story to you. Actually, Miss Lambert asked me to read a story for the Read-a-thon. Ileana is sitting over here on the floor next to me, listening. She picked out her favorite Dr. Seuss book. She just really dislikes me because this is called Oh Say, Can You Say? I don't know if any of you have read it. It's fun to read silently to yourself. But when you have to read it out loud, your tongue does all kinds of blah, 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 blahs, because it is a tongue twister book. And I think Ileana wants to see me embarrass myself in front of you all. So, I'm going to read for you now, Oh Say, Can You Say by Dr. Seuss. And I'm going to attempt to not fumble over all of the words. I will try to show pictures as well. We'll see if they can do this. There we go. There's a picture. Said a book-reading parrot named Hooey, "The words in this book are all phooey. When you say them, your lips will make slips and backflips, and your tongue may end up in St. Louis." Do you like fresh fish? It's just fine at Finney's Diner. Finney also has some fresher fish that's fresher and much finer. But his best fish is his freshest fish, and Finney says with pride, "The finest fish at Finney's is my freshest fish, French fried. I already messed a word up. So don't order the fresh or fresher fish at Finney's if you're wise. You'll say, 'Fetch me the finest French fried freshest fish that Finney fries.'" Oh look, it's a dinosaur. This one is called Din's Shin. We have a dinosaur named Din. Din's thin. Din doesn't have much skin, and the bones fall out of his left front shin. Then we have to call in Pinner Blinn, who comes with his handy shin pin bin, and with a thin Blinn shinbone pin, Blinn pins Din's shin bones right back in. I should have stretched my mouth. Ooh! The bed spreader and the butter spreader. Bed spreaders spread spreads on beds. Bread spreaders spread butters on breads. And that bed spreader better watch out how he's spreading, or that bread spreader's sure gonna butter his bedding. Ooh! Abe cakes, grape cakes. As he gobbled the cakes on his plate, the greedy ape said as he ate, "The greener green grapes are, the keener keen apes are to gobble green grape cakes. They're great." Are you having trouble in saying this stuff? It's really quite easy for me. I just look in the mirror and see what I say, and then I just say what I see. Now let's talk about money. You should leave your grocs home when you travel by air. If you take them along, they charge double the fare. And your grocs must be packed and locked up in a grocs box, which costs much, much more than a little old fox box. So it's heaps a lot cheaper to fly with your foxes than waste all that money on boxes for groxes. And what do you think costs more? A simple thimble or a single shingle? A simple thimble could cost less than a single shingle would, I guess. So I think that a single shingle should cost more than a simple thimble would. Ooh! This one's called Eat at Skipper Zip's. If you like to eat potato chips and chew pork chops on clipper ships, I suggest you chew a few chips and a chop at Skipper Zip's Chipper Ship Chip Chop Shop. And if your tongue is getting queasy, don't give up. The next one's easy. I feel like I'm being lied to.
I know this one. Yep.
Oh!
Fuddler Brothers.
The Fuddnuddlers. Are you ready for the Fuddnuddlers? I'm not ready for the Fuddnuddlers. My face is not ready for the Fuddnuddlers. There are so many things that you really should know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. You should know the first names of the Fuddnuddler brothers, who like to pile up each on the heads of the others. If you start at the top, there are Bipper and Bud, then Skipper and Jipper and Jeffrey and Judd, Horatio, Horace, and Hendrix and Hud. Then come Dinwoody and Dinty and Dud, then Fitzsimmons and Frederick and Fudd, and Slinky and Stinky and Stewart and Stud. And down at the bottom is poor little Lud. But if Lud ever sneezes, his name will be Mud. Did you notice there's a brother named Stinky? I feel bad for that guy. Like the rest of them have semi-normal names. I mean, one of them's called Slinky, and that's a little weird. But Stinky? Like, that guy got made fun of. I'm sorry. All right, let's read the next one. It's called Quack, Quack. It's about ducks. We have 2 ducks, one blue, one black. And when our blue duck goes quack, quack, our black duck quickly quack, quacks back. The quack's blue quacks makes her quite a quacker, but black is a quicker quacker backer. And speaking of quacks reminds me of cracks and stacks and sacks and shacks and schnacks. So, oh say, can you say I have cracks in my shack, I have smoke in my stack, and I think there's a schnack and a sack on my back. My, oh my, oh no. Trouble, trouble. I'm going to mess this one up. Every time I get to this one, it's like, oh, my face. This one's called West Beast, East Beast. Upon an island hard to reach, the East Beast sits upon his beach. Upon the West Beach sits the West Beast. Each beach beast thinks he's the best beast. Which beast is best? Well, I thought at first the East was best and the West was worst. Then I looked again from west to east, and I liked the beast on the East Beach least. I gotta do exercises to make sure I can read this. Pete pats pigs. Pete Briggs pats pigs. Briggs pats pink pigs. Briggs pats big pigs. Don't ask me why, it doesn't matter. Pete Briggs is a pink pig, big pig patter. Pete Briggs pats his big pink pigs all day. Don't ask me why, I cannot say. Then Pete puts his patted pigs away in his Pete Briggs pink pigs, big pigs pig pen. Ooh, Fritz food and Fred food. Can you guess which one is Fritz and which one is Fred? I hope you can tell. Fritz needs Fred and Fred needs Fritz. Fritz feeds Fred and Fred feeds Fritz. Fred feeds Fritz with Ritzy Fred food. And Fritz feeds Fred with Ritzy Fritz food. And Fritz, when fed, has often said, I'm a Fred fed Fritz. Fred's a Fritz fed Fred. Yep, those were all words. Oh, these are not all words. How to tell a klotz from a glotz. I'll let you figure out which of those aren't words. Well, the glotz, you will notice, has lots of black spots. The klotz is quite different with lots of black dots. But the big problem is the spots on a glotz are about the same size as the dots on a klotz. So you first have to spot who the one with the dots is. Then it's easy to tell who the klotz or the glotz is. See, they look kind of the same, but one has spots and one has dots, and I don't know how to tell. Oh my, what would you rather be when you grow up? That's a good question. You should be thinking about that because you're in like 3rd grade now. You got to be thinking ahead. What would you rather be when you grow up? A cop in a cop's cap, or a cupcake cook in a cupcake cook's cap? Or a fat flapjack flapper in a flat flapjack cap? Words. Or if you think you don't like cops' caps or flapjack flappers or cupcake cooks' caps, maybe you're one of those choosy chaps who likes kooky captain's caps, perhaps. The one dude just has a pancake on his head. That's not a hat. Somebody needs to alert him. This is not a hat, sir. Oh, more about Blinn. If you recall, Blinn is the one with the dinosaur shin bone pins. He's got a whole bin of dinosaur Den's shin pins. And he pins them into Den's shin with a Blinner pin. Words. More about Blinn. To make them stay in. That's right, because that rhymed too. More about Blinn. When Blinn comes home tired from his work pinning shins, the happiest hour of old Blinn's day begins. Mr. Blinn is the father of musical twins, who, tucking twin instruments under twin chins, lull their daddy to sleep with twin Blinn violins. And oh say, can you say, far away in Berlin, a musical urchin named Gretchen von Schwinn has a blue-footed, true-footed, trick-fingered, slick-fingered, six-fingered, six-string, 10-Schwinn mandolin. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh no, rope, soap, and hoop soap. It's soaps for different kinds of ropes and hoops. If you hope to wash soup off a rope, simply scrub it with scrope. Scrope is so strong that no rope is too long. But if you should wish to wash soup off a hoop, I suggest that it's best to let your whole silly souped up hoop soak in soapy Cooper's super soap off hoops soak. We're going to start that again. That was terrible, and I apologize. If you hope to wash soup off a rope, simply scrub it with scrope. Scrope is so strong that no rope is too long. But if you should wish to wash soup off a hoop, I suggest that it's best to let your whole silly souped up hoop soak in Soapy Cooper's super soup off hoops soak suds. That was tough. Merry Christmas mush. Oh, look.
Like disgusting much.
One year we had a Christmas brunch with Merry Christmas mush to munch, but I don't think you'd care for such. We didn't like to munch mush much. And speaking of Christmas, here are some great gifts to give to your daddy. That's me. If your daddy's name is Jim, not me. And if Jim swims, and if Jim's slim, the perfect Christmas gift for him is a set of Slim Jim swim fins. But if your daddy's name is Dwight, also not me, and he likes to look at birds at night, the gift for Dwight that might be right is a bright Dwight bird flight night sight light. Okay. But never give your daddy a walrus. It's a true story. A walrus with whiskers is not a good pet, and a walrus which whispers is worse even yet. When a walrus whispers through tough, rough, wet whiskers, your poor daddy's ear will get blispers and bliskers. And that's almost enough of such stuff for one day. One more and you're finished. Oh, say, can you say okay, last one. The storm starts when the drops start dropping, and when the drops stop dropping, the storm starts stopping. Words. Wow. Okay. So that was a book of tongue twisters by Dr. Zeus called Oh Say, Can You Say? And I really enjoyed it. And I hope you had as much fun as we did. And enjoy your read-a-thon. Bye, everybody.